It's been a long time. How have you been?
Portal 2 is a fantastic game filled with great story moments and interesting environments. However, a complaint I and loads of others have had with the main campaign is that it loses the focus on test chambers and puzzles themselves a bit to focus more on its characters and setting. What was Valve's answer to the community's unquenchable thirst for testing? You make it then!
Allow me to introduce the multiverse. Infinite Earths with an infinite number of apertures. And as of now, they are going to take over all test chamber construction. And more importantly, all paying for test chamber construction. Why are they agreeing to do that? They're not. We're tricking them. Here's how it works. 1, design a test. 2, slip the mole monsters or what have you the blueprint when they're not looking. 3, once they build it, steal it back. Look at that sad little octopus. That's where you come in. We need blueprints. We are about to run the greatest con game in the history of the multiverse, and you are the bottleneck. Yes, you. Get back to work.
That's right, Valve gave us one of the most intuitive level editors to ever grace a modern game, built right into your client. Funny, considering how unwieldy and backwards their main editing suite Hammer is, but I digress. It even has workshop support to share your creations with the world, and if you know me, I love me some custom maps. If there's an open forum to share custom levels for a game I like, I'm there. Heck, I spent a couple months streaming custom maps for this game. So, enough dilly-dallying. You've read the title. I'm here to share with you a few of the gems I found while exploring the workshop during that time in no particular order. Relative Freedom is a map that caught my eye immediately while browsing for maps to play. It's got show-stopping visuals that really make it stand out against other maps. The typical cold, clinical vibe is replaced outright with an overgrown outdoor area packed with detail. Every corner of this map has something to look at, which is impressive considering it's pretty compact. What it lacks in space horizontally, it makes up for vertically. This map sends you to every elevation in pursuit of solving the puzzle. As for the puzzle itself, that element is a little lacking. I found this chamber to be pretty easy, boiling down to pressing a few buttons and walking out the door. Its visual appeal is more to make up for the simple solution, though. Overall, I consider it a pretty solid map to start with to show off what the workshop is capable of. Poet's Hideout is a real stumper, as are most of the chambers developed by its author. It's a complex puzzle with some unique testing elements to learn. Unlike the previous test, this one tips the scale away from overt flair and impresses the player with its clever technical design. This chamber feels as though every element was placed with an immense amount of consideration, all the while looking deceptively simple. The large glass window splitting the chamber ensures that you have a good view of all the cogs in this well-oiled machine. The visual design, while nothing remarkable on the surface, does fit the aesthetic of Portal 2 and will be right at home as a real chamber within the game's campaign, if not for being, in my opinion, too advanced mechanically for the skill level required for the base game chapters. Overall, if you love Portal's puzzles but no longer feel challenged by them, this map, and others by its creator, are perfect for you. Median Greens is a chamber that has a few twists and turns, the first of which obvious upon loading it up. The visuals are more aligned with Portal 1 than Portal 2, which is perfect because it carries the first game's grungy, quirky style through its looks and mechanics, reviving old favorites like the energy pellet, and adding new mechanics like a button that switches your portal gun on and off. The layout of the chamber makes your immediate goal clear, but it maintains the deceptive simplicity throughout. There are very few portable surfaces, but the chamber gets a ton of mileage out of them, making brute forcing the chamber near impossible while still limiting your options enough to keep things interesting. I particularly enjoy the aesthetic of Portal 1, so I might be a little biased with this one, but I still recommend it on its own merits.
This chamber represents the impossibility of discovery when bound by artificial ethical considerations for safety. You'll see what I mean.
Speaking of chambers that pull me in with their visual appeal alone, Juxtapose looks how you remember Portal 2's levels looking if you haven't played the game in a while. It's filled with open chasms and exposed beams that fill the empty space and give a peek behind the deteriorating scenes of Aperture. Earlier in the video, I mentioned that Poet's Hideout matches the clearer look of the base game. Well, this chamber is on the other side of that coin, adapting the campaign's collapsing, unkempt side with precision. So much so that I can totally see it squeezing into the base game without issue. That includes the difficulty of the chamber itself. This test will get your brain working without completely halting you in your tracks to think about your next move. It's a nice blend of elements from the campaign working in absolute harmony. All this goes without mentioning the special surprise this chamber throws at you toward the end. I'll let you see that one for yourself, though. So, that was a look into some of my personal favorite custom chambers for Portal 2. I highly recommend all of these if you're a fan of Portal and want more cool tests to check out. I'll have all the tests I mentioned here linked in the description, so go subscribe to them on the workshop and give them a spin. Speaking of subscribing, if you want to see more content like this one, you know what button you can hit. It's right below the video. That's right, the like button. What's your favorite custom chamber? Let me know in the comments below, and with that, I'll see you next month.